9 signs someone is being fake towards you. Have you ever been in a situation where you suspect someone isn't being genuine with you? Trust me, we've all been there. In today's chat, we're dealing with something that can throw us off on any given day. How to spot if someone is being fake towards you. Here's a hair-raising fact. Psychologists say we stumble across at least one fake person every single day. Whoa, right? But don't worry, we've got your back. We're rolling out 9 dead giveaways to help you separate the genuine souls from the pretenders. And trust me, you'll want to stick around for the final sign. It's a biggie. Before we get going, if you're new here, please press that red button to subscribe to our channel and comment "I've subscribed" so we can thank you. Ready to unravel the mystery of the fakes? Let's dive in. Number 9. Inconsistent behavior. Ever met someone who seems to change their colors as often as a chameleon? This sign is all about inconsistent behavior. A definite red flag when it comes to spotting a fake. Imagine this. One day they're all sunshine and rainbows, and the next they're as frosty as a winter morning. Yep, the mood swings and shifting attitudes can be a bit of a roller coaster, don't you think? These inconsistencies often arise because maintaining a facade is like spinning plates. It takes a lot of effort, and sometimes they just drop. So here's a top tip. Keep an eagle eye on how they interact with you over time. See any dramatic changes in behavior for no apparent reason? Do they act out of character depending on the setting or company? Now don't forget to trust your gut. If your inner alarm bells are ringing, it might be time to have a heart-to-heart with them if you're comfortable doing so. After all, authentic people are like a steady ship. They're consistent in actions and words since they've got nothing to hide. Number 8. Overly complimentary. Rolling out the red carpet is a sign of number 8. The sugar coaters. Picture this. You've got someone who's always laying it on thick with compliments. Now don't get me wrong, who doesn't love a good compliment? But when they come fast and frequent with the side of excessive praise, flattery, or admiration, it can feel a bit like you're drowning in sweetness. According to communication experts, flattery is one of the most common tactics fake people use to win your favor. So how do you distinguish a genuine compliment from a fake one? Keep tabs on the context and frequency of the compliments thrown your way. If they're showering you with praise over minor things, it might be a sign that they're trying to win you over with words rather than genuine sentiment. And here's another key pointer. How do their compliments make you feel? A genuine compliment should leave you glowing, while a fake one can stir up feelings of unease or suspicion. So trust those instincts and don't shy away from questioning their motives. Surround yourself with people who appreciate you for you and leave the artificial sweeteners at the supermarket. Number 7. Gossiping. Ever found yourself caught up in a whirlwind of rumors and whispers? Welcome to sign number 7. Gossiping. You see, the drama stirrers are masters at cooking up juicy tales and half-truths. Why do they do it? Simple. It's all about stirring the pot, shaping opinions, and let's not forget a dash of good old manipulation. Now ask yourself, have you noticed someone who's always serving a fresh batch of negativity or revealing private tidbits about others? Alarm bells should be ringing because this behavior can cultivate a toxic environment faster than you could say stop the gossip train. And if you find yourself trapped in a gossip fest, remember you have the power to change the channel. Politely steer the conversation away or gently excuse yourself from it, and you'll be preserving your integrity while fostering healthier relationships. Number 6. Lack of empathy. Picture this. You're pouring your heart out to someone, sharing your feelings, and all you get is a cold, indifferent response. Ouch. That's sign number 4. Glaring lack of empathy. It's a trait often found in people who seem more like a mannequin than a friend, focused on their facade more than understanding your feelings. Empathy is like a heartbeat of genuine relationships, and its absence can feel like a chilly wind. So how do you recognize it? Notice how they respond when you're having a heart-to-heart. Do they look uninterested or dismissive? Or maybe even twist the conversation to be about them? If yes, then you've got a classic case of stone hearts. Facing a lack of empathy can be tough, but remember your emotional well-being comes first. Surround yourself with people who really care, who lend a shoulder when you need one. If you're dealing with a stone heart, it's okay to put some distance or even better, spark an open conversation about your feelings if you're comfortable doing so. Always remember, Real relationships are all about empathy, understanding, and offering a comforting hand when needed. Number 5, self-centeredness. Ever hung out with someone who treats conversations like a monologue? If yes, then you might have come across the spotlight hoggers, who perfected the art of being self-centered. Sign number 5 is all about them prioritizing their needs, their stories, their everything above others. Now, doesn't that make a two-way conversation seem like a distant dream? Think about it. Do you know someone who likes to steer the conversation ship back to the me island every time it ventures elsewhere? Or maybe they play deaf when it's your turn to speak, or show zero interest in your tales. If yes, you've got a spotlight hogger on your hands. And if you're tangled in their spotlight hogging web, remember this. You're allowed to cut through the monologue and share your stories. You can set boundaries and ask them to be more present in conversations. After all, it's the mutual respect, understanding, and support that paint a relationship authentic. Number 4, they avoid deep conversations. Imagine going on a scuba diving adventure, but your buddy prefers to float on the surface. Frustrating, right? Well, that's exactly what it feels like when you try to dive into deeper conversations with a superficial chatter. Genuine relationships are like deep-sea diving. You need to plunge below the surface and explore emotions, experiences, and vulnerabilities. Ask yourself, do you know someone who sidesteps the deeper stuff and wades in the shallow end of small talk? Or perhaps they seem disinterested or even jittery when you try to kickstart a meaningful conversation. That's your sign 4, folks. They might not be showing you their authentic selves. When you come across a superficial chatter, remember, don't always have to stick to the shallow end. Find companions who are willing to dive deep, explore the undercurrents of emotions, and come up with pearls of genuine connection. If a relationship lacks that depth, don't hesitate to voice your concerns or take a step back if it feels right. Number 3, they break promises. Ever met someone who's a bit like a deflated balloon when it comes to keeping promises? I'm talking about people who pledge mountains, but they can't even deliver a molehill. Sign 3 is all about those promise breakers. Trust is like a glue in any relationship, and promises are a vital part of that adhesive. So pause for a moment and think. Do you know someone whose promises seem to have an expiration date? Someone who consistently doesn't follow through or cooks up excuses faster than a microwave? If they don't treat their word like gold, then you might be dealing with a promise breaker. Facing the promise breakers can be like navigating a minefield. Remember, you've got the right to set the rules of the game. Express your expectations clearly, hold them accountable, and don't let their lax attitude dent your trust in others. Number 2, they seek attention. Look at me, look at me. Sounds familiar? That's what you'll often hear from our sign number 2, the showstoppers. Craving attention and validation like a moth to a flame. They'll do anything to keep the spotlight shining on them. Exaggerating stories or even conjuring them up from thin air is their favorite party trick. Take a moment to ponder. Have you ever encountered someone who seems to hold a PhD in attention seeking? Someone who consistently tries to be the center of attention, irrespective of the situation. Or someone whose tales often seem too grand or perfect to be real. If so, chances are you're dealing with a showstopper. But remember, you don't always have to be a part of their audience. You can set your own stage, avoid their drama, and foster connections with people who value authenticity over spectacle. If your relationship with a showstopper is causing more turbulence than tranquility, it might be time to take a step back and reevaluate. Number 1, their friendships seem shallow. Think of friendships as a lush forest. The ones who are authentic plant deep roots, establishing strong bonds, flourishing with trust, shared experiences, and support. Conversely, the social butterflies, who are fluttering at number 1 on our list, seem content skimming over the treetops, never settling long enough to plant roots. Have a think. Do you know someone whose social circle seems too expansive as a forest, but their connection is as fleeting as a butterfly's visit? Observe their chatter about their friends and their interactions. Do their relationships feel as superficial as an autumn leaf? Is there a sturdy tree trunk of emotional support, or does it feel like a flimsy twig snapping at the slightest gust of wind? If their friendship does appear rootless, you might have a social butterfly on your hands. In the presence of social butterflies, remember your emotional well-being and the depth of your relationships are paramount. Strive for friendships that grow strong like mighty oaks, rich in trust, shared experiences, and support. If you feel someone's connections lack depth or authenticity, perhaps it's time for an open conversation about your concerns, or even time to gently break away. Remember, genuine relationships are like grand old trees, deeply rooted, standing tall through all seasons. And there you have it. You now possess the ability to spot when someone is being fake towards you. Remember to think about these next time you're in a conversation and something feels a little off. Did you enjoy today's video? If so, why not accompany me on another thought-provoking journey? I've got this intriguing video lined up just for you. I think it'll pique your curiosity and offer even more insights.